I'm back from my most recent Ultimate Streetcar event, which was up at Road America in Wisconsin. And before I get into the event, I just have to say, if you ever have the chance to go to Road America, go to Road America. It's simply a beautiful track. There's something that's not captured well on Forza or iRacing. It reminds me a lot of Barber. It's just beautiful scenery, like your forests and trees, and it's just a beautiful place. So this was my first time there, and I was really impressed with the facility. Definitely check it out if you ever get the chance. So on to the weekend. Overall, incredible result for the Tesla again. Even better than NCM, as expected, due to the upgrades. So this format was a little bit unusual. There's a few events a year that are like this, but Friday was actually road course and speed stop, and then Saturday was autocross and D&E with road rally Friday night. So starting with Friday, we had some rain in the morning, pretty moderate to almost heavy rain, but not a downpour, torrential downpour, and that meant that session 1 and 2 were wet on the road course. Not the preferred way to learn Road America, but it actually worked out well. Most of the people didn't take their full laps, or in some cases didn't even go out on track. That allowed me to really learn the track in the Tesla. I did full sessions 1 and 2, and I was actually the fastest session 1 time and the fastest session 2 time by I think about 4 seconds. So really good result for the Tesla in the wet. It was a lot of fun to play around with in the wet. I did some wet speed stop runs as well. On speed stop, a few cars had dry runs before I could get out there. I think I was fastest wet and maybe 3rd, 4th overall. But moving into the afternoon, it did dry up, so I was able to get out on the road course and do a 245.0. This was the configuration with the motorcycle loop. So if you're familiar with Road America, that takes out the kink and replaces it with a chicane. I was very happy about that. I didn't really feel like flying through the kink, especially in the wet. But that was good enough for 17th out of 64, which was a pretty good result for the car. I was happy with that. Definitely more in it, but first time at Road America, I'll take that. On speed stop, ended up finishing 2nd behind a 800 horsepower GTR. Incredible build. I was pretty happy to finish that close. I actually did get him at NCM, but he got me here. And then I think I split 2 GTRs. I think there was another GTR in 3rd. So 2nd position in speed stop. Road rally, no issues there. 10-mile round trip. Obviously Tesla, I don't think anybody had any issues, but the Tesla did fine as well. So full points for that. Moving into Sunday. What would normally be day 2 would be Sunday, but in this case it was Saturday. So Saturday, autocross and D&E. So first session in autocross went out, set a 46.6, which was the fastest session 1 time, and then actually I think it might have been a 46.5 actually, and then went into session 2 and subsequently session 3 with 46.0s in both sessions. Those times, well, yeah, only the fastest time matters, but those times were good enough for first overall for autocross. And second place was the same GTR. I think he was 3 or 4 tenths back from me. So really incredible result for the Tesla. I had people coming up from spectating, just some locals, I think, and were asking me all sorts of questions about the Tesla. Clearly, I'd never seen a Tesla perform that way before, and this is where I gotta give credit to Mountain Pass Performance. The suspension was just incredible. I'm running their double adjustable, so compression and rebound, sport coilover setup. So it's a coilover in the front, shock spring in the back, ride height adjustable, compression rebound adjustable, like I mentioned, and I'm also running their toe and camber links in the back so that I can play around with alignment. I know they've got some camber arms to the front too, which I'm super excited to try once those are available. They're still in development, but if you have a Tesla and you're interested in it, I'll have a link to the description. But they've been great to work with. Their suspension's performing phenomenally well. Of course, definitely favored a car like this that could power out of corners, but again, against GTRs, all-wheel drive cars, along with Corvettes and Camaros, just an incredible result. So D&E, 48th out of 64, a lot more to talk about than at NCM. So I did a bit better. D&E is always a challenge, especially with something this stock, but ultimately these cars are all going to SEMA, and the cars that are here are just incredible cars. So trying to justify how 47 cars could be more engineered than this car with simple bolt-ons, it's not that hard to figure out. So happy with that result. Certainly some room for improvement. I'm sure I can get that score up in subsequent events, but overall finished 12th out of 64, and I was the first EV to ever score over 400 points. So I think I had the highest score before this, which was 394. This event, 436. So almost 40 points higher than the last event, which was at NCM, and just super excited about that result. Car did phenomenally well. Road course, I should mention, I did have the upgraded brakes from Unplug Performance, their street track pad, and performed great. So no fade. I did put in fresh .4 fluid, but compared to NCM, I was able to do the full wet sessions, and even in wet, I was stopping from 120, 125 multiple times per lap. They held up well, no fade, so very excited that may have the brake issue resolved, and if it works at Road America, it should work everywhere, so that's great. And with that, I'm looking forward to the next event, which is actually this weekend. So I'm going to go up to UMI, which is a name familiar to a lot of muscle car guys. They have a track up in Clearfield, PA. They're hosting an autocross only invitational event. So some of the best autocrossers in the country, some of the best autocross cars in the country. Really excited to see how the Tesla does with that kind of competition. I think they invited 100 drivers. Not sure how many will be able to show up, but I know some big names who are going to be there, and really excited to see how it's going to do. So if you're interested in following along, I'll be sure to post some videos just like I did this previous weekend to the channel. Obviously it'll be autocross only, but if you're interested, feel free to subscribe, and I'll try to post updates on Friday and then Saturday with the fastest runs as I go. And if you have any questions about the builds or about the parts or just the events in general, feel free to leave me a comment or a question. And with that, I just got to give a shout out to, again, Mountain Pass Performance for an incredible suspension. Strano Parts helped me out again, getting me brake fluid quickly so I could replace the old fluid from NCM. Obviously running wheels sourced through him, which are the MRR wheels. And Bridgestone tires with the RE71Rs, just a great tire. Obviously Speed Stop and autocross results speak for themselves. And I just have to also give a shout out to Road America for an incredible event, Optima, the whole Optima team, and the FM3 marketing team for, again, an incredible event. If you ever want to go to one of these, check it out, sign up, drive at one of them, spectate at one of them. Jimmy Day and Adam Hanna do an incredible job, and the whole FM3 marketing team. Optima supports there with Jim, Optima Jim. I feel bad for him. He had some car issues this weekend. He's actually competing in the series, trying to win his way to display his car at SEMA, which is just awesome. He's trying to really get into the series even more than he already was, and he was always at the event. So again, if you want to check one out, I'll have the link in the description. The next one for me is going to be at NOLA, New Orleans. That's coming up beginning of October. But until then, UMI this weekend, and I'll post some updates. Thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you next time.